Hello, Adam Stark here. So I am going to be going through my lyrics for my rap called My Shot. Now this one it's short, it's only 1 minute long, and I say every lyric pretty fast. I this is one I speed through. This is one that um basically I just go through it really quick, and I'm just going to break down the lyrics in here because there's a lot of punchlines I packed into here. And you know, one thing that's really nice is the way I put this together, everything rhymes really well, everything's going in the same direction, and it's just really dope. This is one of my favorite raps I've ever done. And so I'm going to break down the lyrics, any secret meanings, multiple meanings, metaphors, entendres, any Easter eggs, anything about my writing process, or any extras or bonuses I feel like I need to discuss, I will do here. So, as usual, I am just going to read the lyrics. I'm not going to rap them, and then I'll explain anything I feel like I need to explain further. So, okay, going on with the start here. Okay, opening line. My shot. I'm gonna keep pushing till I pull through full throttle. Now that opening line is dope because okay, I'm gonna keep pushing till I pull through. Well, pushing and pull, those are opposites, those are antonyms, but keep pushing till I pull through. So to pull through means to achieve your goals, to make it, okay? And I'm saying I'm gonna keep pushing, pushing myself, pushing me to the brink, pushing me to the limit till I pull through and I achieve my goals. Okay, so it's dope. And then I said full throttle. Now, full throttle by itself is a saying that means you're going all out. You're going for it at 100% capacity, and you know you're putting yourself as in all. You're all in, going for it. And but it's funny because maybe people might not have caught this, but to be pushing and pulling, those are actions you need to do to make it full throttle. So just a dope way that I put that together, to be able to pull a throttle and to throttle to thrust an actual throttle on an automobile or something that drives stick, you need to push and pull to do that. Anyways, continuing here, the first rhyme here. Me and my gun are in a bad relationship. I have control problems. Okay, so very dope. I don't do gun punchlines very often because it's a loaded term to be a gun rapper nowadays, because there's so many of them and not many of them are different. They're all kind of the same, and most rappers past the year 2000 suck. Anyways, especially on the mainstream side of hip hop. Now, I don't use gun lines often, so when I do use them, I try and do something unique. And so here was one I said, I'm in a relationship with my own gun. Me and my gun are in a relationship. And then I said it's a bad one, and I said I have control problems. Well, in any type of actual real relationship, it would be a bad one if one of the parties participants had control problems. If a husband has control problems, if the wife has control problems, those are bad relationships. And I'm saying it, I'm in a relationship with my gun and I have control problems, which means stay the fuck away from me. Because if I have control problems with the gun, holy shit. Okay, so there's a good punchline there. Continuing on here, I said, I used to think about life like, what the heck is the point of it? I have a compass in my right hand and a magnet in my left. I don't know what direction I'm going in. So, in other words, I used to think about life, I didn't understand what was the reason for it. What do I do with myself and stuff? And I'm saying, the end message is, I don't know what direction I'm going in. Okay. Am I going down the right path, the wrong path? Can I get a sign? I don't know what I'm doing, sort of thing. And everybody has these stages of their life. And, but it was dope because I said, I have a compass in my right hand and there's a magnet in my left. Okay, right and left. Which direction should I go, the right or the left? But it's also saying, okay, when you want to follow the compass to go somewhere, if you have a magnet near your compass goes out of control because magnets screw with the polarity that a compass has. And a compass encompasses. I just wanted to say that. Sorry, but magnets will ruin the trajectory of the needle or whatever it is in the compass. Anyways, so I don't know what direction I'm going in. Just a dope way of putting that together by talking about I have a compass in one hand, magnet in the left. So each hand is in a different direction, but also you can't trust the compass, which you'd want to, normally, but you can't because there's a magnet there screwing with it. That's what happens. Anyways, okay, continuing here, I said, your favorite rapper treats girls like objects, a pimp for broke women, but can't win a dumb fight with knowledge. Oh, I get it. He's a homeless home wrecker. That's why they say he kickboxes. Okay, this line's very dope, funny and dope. It's one of my favorite lines I've ever written. But I'm saying, okay, your favorite rapper treats girls like objects. Okay, it's not okay to treat women like objects or girls like objects. It's not okay. I mean, I get it. It happens from time to time, and sometimes you find yourself in a relationship where it is like that, or quote unquote relationship. It could be a one night stand sort of thing or whatever. It happens. You get hood rats. You get certain types of paths you end up taking. But I'm saying it is not okay to do that to them. Nonetheless, doesn't mean it's okay to do it. It's not okay. And I'm saying that your favorite rapper does that. Okay. And I said, a pimp for broke women. Now, this is a funny concept. I throw this around all the time. Does somebody, we all joke, pimp, he's pimping, he's a pimp. You're a pimp for that. You're a pimp for the. Okay. A pimp to me is somebody that actually, it's got to be a rough job. You got to actually work hard to do that. And I'm saying, if you're just a pimp for broke women, that means to me, you're not a pimp. If you just have a bunch of broke women and they need the money so bad that they came to you out of desperation. That's not a pimp to me. That's just okay. You're helping out some broke women to get money. That's not a pimp to my personal opinion. And then I continue by saying, but can't win a dumb fight with knowledge. Now this is hilarious. Okay. I'm saying you can't. A dumb fight is a common saying. Oh, that was a dumb fight. That was a dumb fight. What? Oh, what happened with your two brothers? Oh, that was a dumb fight. Okay, it's a common saying. Lots of fights happen for dumb reasons too. So it makes sense. There's a good amount of them, and I'm saying, but he couldn't win a dumb fight with knowledge. In other words, if he was knowledgeable, he couldn't win a dumb fight. In other words, a fight of information, a fight of intellect with knowledge. If he had the knowledge, he couldn't win a dumb fight. Just a funny punchline there. And I said, oh, I get it. He's a homeless homewrecker. That's why they say he kickboxes. Okay, very, very dope how I ended this, going through the whole list of it. So then I say, okay, being a home wrecker can mean literally somebody who destroys a home physically. They burn a house down, commit arson. They break windows, they break down walls, they tear down dry walls, they take a backhoe and a wrecking ball or whatever and a crane, and they wreck the home physically. But also understand a home wrecker is a saying, very common. It's slang, but it's a very common saying, which means you ruined a relationship, a real binding relationship between two people. And if you're being a pimp for women, well, obviously, whoever that woman's dating outside of her work you would be ruining that person's life because you'd be a home wrecker to that person. You're taking his wife or his girlfriend away because now she's your hoe. Okay. So, but I'm also saying, I remember I said broke women, and I said, oh, I get it. He's a homeless home wrecker. That's why they say he kickboxes. Well, where do homeless people live? In a common stereotype, a box. So if you're physically wrecking a home of a homeless person, you'd be kicking a box. Okay. And also, I'm saying, you know, kick kickboxes is why the only reason why people would say that you kickbox. Oh, Mr. So and so, he kickboxes. Now I'm making a punchline saying the only reason they would ever say that he kickboxes is if they're describing what he does to a homeless person's house, which is stereotypically a piece of cardboard. Okay, so that's the only way because kicking a box would be wrecking the home of a homeless person, and that's saying he kickboxes, which kickboxing is a fighting style. It's a sport, and I'm saying that's the only way people would refer to this guy who cannot fight as someone who kickboxes if they're just saying how he kicks a homeless person's box home. Okay, so very dope punchline there. Just the way I put it together and the way I performed it in the rap, it's very dope. Okay, continuing on here. I'm a product of rap. Just multiply my full supply. I'm always hard at work. It's tiring. Add my earnings. That would equal people's admiring. Okay, so very simple. I'm just saying I'm a product of rap, which means rap, the good rap, by the way, which is the underwhelming minority of all that has ever been considered hip hop. Because I like 75% of old school and some underground. Okay, there to be real rap. So I'm a product of that, and I multiply my full supply. I'm always hard at work. It's tiring. I'm always coming up with raps, concepts, and everything. I'm constantly writing, rapping, freestyling, and doing all sorts of stuff. And I said, add my earnings, and that would equal people's possession apostrophe peoples apostrophe. So people's admiring. So people would admire, my earnings. I'm saying. Okay, so very dope, easy to understand. And then I said, from awake to awoke, from restless to restless. Okay, so I'm saying from awake to awoke. So from currently awake to previously awoke. From rest less, in other words, from someone who would rest less, who would not want to rest a lot, to restless, which is one word. It's pronounced restless. And I'm saying to somebody who just isn't, who is hard to, you know, who's wound up, who's having problems. And I'm saying, you don't need to switch to vibrate to feel what I am saying in this message. So, very dope. I'm saying, okay, to feel what I'm saying in this message, just keep it right at that part. To feel what I'm saying in this message, common saying, very common saying. We've all heard that before. You feel what I'm saying? Do you feel me? Do you feel what I'm saying in this message? Okay, that doesn't mean physically feel something. You don't put your finger on it and feel it. No, it's, do you believe what I am saying? And I'm saying that yes, most people probably do, that you have to work hard to get what you want to achieve something meaningful and stuff. You don't ask for a handout. You don't whine and cry about it like a little pussy. And I'm saying, okay, so, but then I also say you don't need to switch to vibrate to feel what I'm saying in this message. Now, of course, texting and vibrating, you feel your phone vibrate when you get a message. So if I sent you a text message to your cell phone device, and then you'll feel the message physically. Okay, no matter what I wrote, you'll physically feel the message. But I'm saying you don't even need to switch your phone to a vibrate function on your mobile device, cell phone device, to feel what I'm saying, because you'll feel it in the other sense of, believing in what I am going with. So very dope there. Now keep going here. On next line is, my hustle game top score with stats like this. Once you proceed to bleeding, start changing colors like the Wayans brothers when you act like a bitch. So very dope. I'm basically saying, okay, now the Wayans brothers, they're comedical actors, and they're pretty much one of the most famous movies they ever did was a movie called White Chicks. Now the Wayans brothers are clearly not white, and they're clearly not chicks. But guess what they did? They changed their skin color, and they acted like a bitch. Literally, there were white women, white bitches in the movie White Chicks. But I'm saying, I'm relating the fact that I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, and once you proceed to bleeding, you'll start changing colors. Now, when you act like a bitch, now that means the pigment of your skin will change. You get hit hard enough, your skin will change colors. You'll leave bruises and stuff like that, and of course, blood coming down the areas where you got hit from, obviously they would change to the color of blood too, obviously, speaking the obvious here. But you're saying, but I related that in a very nice simile, because I'm saying, like the Wayans brothers when you act like a bitch, because that's what they did. They completely changed colors, completely, when they acted like a bitch, because that's what they're doing. They're actors, and that was their job, was to act like the bitch of the stereotypical white girl that was in the movie, sort of thing. So this is a very dope way of saying how I'm going to beat you up and you're going to change colors, because I didn't just say that, I related it to something very relatable. Okay, continuing. I said, your weapons were left outside while mine weren't. Now I said this very fast because I wanted it to catch people off guard. and I said, your weapons were left outside. Okay, so stop right there. Your weapons were left outside. You know that part already. Okay, when you're listening to this, you put that in your head, and then you go, well, mine weren't, and I say it so fast. So did I say, because the T can be silent if you just say it so fast it's silent. So was I saying, well, mine weren't? In other words, well, my guns were not left outside, or am I saying were in? WERE space IN. My guns were in. Either way, okay? So your guns were left outside, mine weren't. Or if I didn't make it a apostrophe T, it'd be were not. Or am I saying my guns were in? Well, it sounds exactly the same, and either way, I have my weapons inside, you have yours outside. Now, continuing at the line here, another very dope line, one of my favorites. I said, um, I said, um, whether I'm assisting God or swearing to him, the masses I can assure them. Very dope. Okay. Assure, ASSURE, and Usher, USHER, sound exactly the same. So it's I'm basically saying, okay, whether I'm assisting God, which would be an usher. An usher is somebody, USHER, is somebody in the church who is assisting God. They are going, abiding by their religion. They are, collecting the offerings and stuff. They are leading people, physically leading people in the direction down the pews and the aisles and stuff. So that's what you do. The ushers would usher the people around. And then I'm saying also, um, whether I'm assisting God, but I'm also saying, or swearing to him, because we've all said, I swear to God, or, oh, I swear to God, or, he swears to God that he saw this or whatever. Now, if you're swearing to God, you are assuring, ASSURE, assuring that person that your claim is 100% true and accurate. So when I say the masses, I can assure them, which means I can promise them, I can prove to them, blah blah blah. But also masses is also synonymous with church, church, mass, church, mass, or churches, masses, masses of church. And so the masses, I can assure them, promise them, make them believe what I'm saying, or usher them, the masses of church, I can usher them in the direction of where you get the blood of Christ and you go down this aisle and whatever. So just very dope. Two words that sound exactly the same. You say them one way, it sounds the same. Dope double meaning there. Okay, continuing on. I said futures get pushed back as time passes these days. Once your cards are dealt, follow suit because you can't change the DLAs. Okay, first, deal ace, DEAL space ACE, and the word delays, DELAYS. Say them at just the right speed. You got to hold onto the sound of the L, and you can make it sound exactly the same. Now, I said futures get pushed back as time passes these days, because what I'm saying is time does go by fast, yes, but the futures that you're looking for, they're not always going to come when you want it to. Okay, oh, you really wanted to buy that whatever the hell you bought? Well, it's not coming as fast as you want it to. And now I'm saying I did a poker scheme. Okay. I've done a word association doing with poker. Okay. I said once your cards are dealt, follow suit. Suit is the type of card you got. You know, you got the spades, you got the diamonds, you got the hearts, you got the which one am I missing? Spades, diamonds, hearts, clovers, whatever. Okay, so those are the suits. And I said, because you can't change the card deal. Ace. Ace is a card, but ace is also a nickname for a card player. And then also delays. Okay, so there's the poker scheme, so word association of it. Your cards are dealt, follow the suit because you can't change the deal. Ace. But also, look at what I'm actually saying here. Okay, once your cards are dealt, now that's a common saying. Your cards are dealt that you were going to grow up and be president. Okay, your cards are dealt that you were going to go to prison by age 12. Your cards are dealt that you were going to get, you know, the win the lottery by the time you were 30. Like those are common saying. Your cards are dealt. And then I said follow suit. Now, that's a common saying. Follow suit means okay, if I said, okay, father owned the business for, Ford for 30 years or whatever. So follow suit and do what he does. Take over the family business, when he passes, or follow suit, because you know that step 1 is to pull out the book of directions, and step 2 is to follow the directions. Follow suit, blah blah blah. But it's a common saying, follow suit. And then I said, because you can't change the delays in that form of the meeting, because I said futures get pushed back as time passes these days. And so you can't change the delays no matter what. What's one thing you can't change? Time. You cannot change it. So I said, you can't change the delays in life. Delays are going to come and go. And so once your cards are dealt, follow suit. So in other words, once you figure out what you're meant to do, go through it and do it. Okay, because you just can't change the delays. You cannot change what delays are going to come. You thought you were going to, have enough, money to get your thing you really wanted. Well, you can't change the fact that you didn't have enough and they bumped the price up, or something got in the way and your money had to go elsewhere. Those delays are going to come. You can't change them. So that's all I'm saying is follow suit and keep working at it. You can't change time. It can't happen. Okay, continuing here. I'm the closest thing to being the perfect human being. My only dysfunction is verbally hurting feelings. This is very dope because, okay, I'm closest to being the perfect human being. I'm doing what every rapper's supposed to do. You're supposed to brag and boast about yourself. And then I said, my only dysfunction is verbally hurting feelings. Now, to have any dysfunction isn't, it's something you wouldn't like. Of course not, obviously. If you have a speaking dysfunction, if you have a hearing dysfunction, eyesight dysfunction, whatever it is, it's not something you're going to like. But so how mean is it that I'm teasing the listeners? I'm saying my only dysfunction, so now everyone's listening going, oh, what is Adam Stark's what is Adam Stark's dysfunction? Oh my God, the guy has a dysfunction. He's always bragging about himself. He has a dysfunction. And then you come out to find out, as I say, is verbally hurting feelings. So then you realize I didn't say the word dysfunction, dysfunction. I said diss, space function, function. So imagine that. You were over here thinking, oh my God, he's going to tell us what his dysfunction is. But no, if I have a dis space function, of course that's going to be verbally hurting feelings. My function of dissing is to, throw out disses, and which would mean verbally, of course, because that's using words, and hurting feelings, because that's what a diss is to hurt feelings, to throw out, throw shade, throw insults, and it's done verbally. So that's what my dysfunction is. My function of dissing. So just a dope little setup there, kind of tricked the audience a little bit. Continuing on here, the new art of war I made for real men needing tests. Witness my intelligent combat techniques against foes. You copy, then you'll get to sieging, yes? Okay, very dope. Very, very dope. What I'm saying here, okay, the art of war I made for real men needing tests. I said, witness my, but here's where it comes, okay? The last few words. Okay, sieging space yes. SIEGING space YES. Sounds exactly the same as C genius. SEE space GENIUS. Sounds exactly the same. Now, sieging means attacking. In war, of course. So if you're sieging the beach, that means you're attacking the beach. If you're sieging the, submarines, then you're attacking the submarine, whatever. And also so sieging, and then it's a space, it's a comma. Sieging, yes, but I'm also saying see genius. So when I say witness my intelligent combat techniques against foes, and then you copy, you'll get to sieging, yes? So here's what's dope, what makes this line just crazy. So I'm saying I know the art of war, so listen to this. If you witness my intelligent combat techniques, what does that mean? Combat techniques. That means against foes. I'm sorry, as I said, against foes. That means attacking. So if you copy, and no, when you say the line you copy, that can mean one of two things. Now, the common way of interpreting that is you copy. If I say, hello, I'll take is on a large cheeseburger, you copy, that means did you hear me? Okay. But the other interpretation, I'm being literal, and I'm saying use my intelligent, or excuse me, witness, which means watch, my intelligent combat techniques against foes, my sieging attacks. You copy, literally, you copy, then what will you do? Sieging. So, sieging, yes, that's what you'll be doing because you're witnessing my combat against foes, which is combat against foes is sieging. And if you copying what I'm doing, then yes, that's what you'll be doing is sieging. And I'm also saying, okay, are you listening? Is the other version of you copy. Like, hello, you copy? Are you watching? You copy? Are you listening? You copy? Okay, you copy. Then you'll get to see genius. Okay, very dope how that was put together. So I said, you'll get to see genius, and I'll say, you'll get to sieging. Yes. Very dope double meaning there. So you'll witness, you'll get to see genius. You'll get to see my intelligence, as I said in the words intelligence and genius synonymous. You'll get to see that. But I'm also saying, literally speaking, you will get to sieging. You'll get to sieging. Okay? So very dope double meaning there. Incredible. Continuing on here. Defeat for you is imminent. At phase one, you'll face one. Even your hometown rejects you, and that's where you stay shunned. Okay, very dope. Now, first to mention, stay shunned, STAY space SHUNNED, sounds exactly the same as the word stationed, STATIONED. Okay, sound exactly the same. So I said it one way, it's double meaning. I said, even your hometown rejects you, and that's where you stationed. So, okay, your hometown rejects you, then of course you would stay being shunned. Shunned is rejected. Shunned is not accepted. Okay, so if you would stay shunned if you're at a hometown where they reject you. But if you're at a hometown, then it's technically speaking, that is where you were stationed. So you're stationed at a hometown, but they also reject you. So that's where you would stay being shunned. So I'm saying, damn, dude, even your hometown just hates you. You're rejected even there. The one place you shouldn't be rejected, right? In theory, of course. But so I'm saying that's how pathetic it is. Okay, continuing on here with the final line, very dope. This was, in my personal opinion, one of the best ways I've ever ended a rhyme. And I personally love this double meaning. I said, whether you want to witness me suffering or toast to celebrate my campaign, after all your broke ass threats, remember one thing. You'll never bring the champagne. Okay, the words champagne, CHAMPAGNE, and champagne, CHAMP space PAIN, sound exactly the same. You say it one way, it sounds exactly the same. It's two different things. It's double meaning. I said, you'll never bring the champagne. Now you got to have a little bit of space after the M and the P sort of thing. And I'm saying, you'll never bring the champagne. And that's how I say it in the actual rap to make it work as a double meaning. So I said, if you want to toast to celebrate my campaign, and I'm saying you're broke, well, champagne isn't for cheap people, it's more expensive. And toasting to celebrate my campaign would be champagne. You know, and I'm saying so you wouldn't be able to afford it. And I'm saying, to toast to celebrate my campaign, you know, champagne. So you'll never bring that drink. But I'm also calling myself the champ. The champ is short for champion. Clearly, obviously, everybody knows that, but just to mention it anyway. And I'm saying, you'll never bring me, the champion, pain. So I said, after all your broke ass threats, you'll never bring the champ pain. Because I said, whether you want to witness me suffering, to celebrate my campaign, after all your broke ass's threats, because they're just threats at the end of the day, you'll never bring the champ pain. So very dope double meaning there. Nice way to end the line and the whole verse, the whole rap. Very proud of this ending and how this one turned out. And this one it's fast. Like I said, it's only a minute long. You rap and get through the words pretty quickly on this one. but it's got some dope punchlines in there, some funny stuff, and some serious stuff, and very nice wordplay and good double meanings and entendres in this one. Very dope. Okay, everybody, thank you for listening. Message me or comment any questions you'll have. I'd love to answer them. I can, any lyrics you were wondering about, any questions about my process, or if you're wondering, anything about my works and my writing or anything throughout my career on YouTube, I'd love to answer it. Just let me know at any time. I really appreciate you guys listening. Click like, subscribe, and have a nice day. Thank you.